Selvin's just very recently joined us as our regional manager now in the Western Cape. He's taken over the role that some of you will know that Melinda was in that role, and then Gail kind of looked after the role for a while, but now Selvin's in the role. And so this is also a formal welcome to Selvin, because he's brought a new energy and just a depth, and we have lots of women, and so we're desperate to have some men. So he's a man in our midst, and delighted that you're here and that you're partnering with me tonight, Selvin.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Louise. I'm very excited to introduce the next person, Ridwaan, Samodien. I've worked with Ridwaan for the past 9 years, up until the end of July. And Ridwaan was one of my bosses in the previous employment that I've worked with. And there's two things about Ridwaan that you need to know. He's an amazing cook. When you go to these school bazaars, you will find him behind a pot making food. And people simply love that at school, because his teachers benefit often during the year. The second thing about Ridwaan is that he's a person who loves possibility. I've seen him go into heavy, major stuff, and he says, Selvin, I don't know how this is going to end, but I'm willing to step out and make it happen. And I've seen two changes at the school. The environment has changed in that school. You can't believe how their gardens have changed at the front of the school. But secondly, something amazing has happened amongst the staff. And I've watched this journey over 9 years. From disengaged, sometimes robust discussions with teachers have moved to engagement. And I think that's when you talk about someone living possibility. And Ridwaan has been on the program since 2000, for 5 years now. And Ridwaan, we're very, very excited to have you to share with us again this evening. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. They say you haven't arrived until your voice has been heard. So let's try again. Good evening, everybody. Goeienaand almal. Good evening, Professor Jonathan Jansen, Master of Ceremonies, my partner Louise. All protocols observed. I am Ridwaan Samodien. If you can't remember Ridwaan, being a teacher, I read one book at a time. I come to you from the heart of Grassy Park, and please bear with me if I look at my notes covering 6 years in 10 minutes, and I'm going to overstep my time, will allow me to at least look at my notes. So, to repeat, I come to you from the heart of Grassy Park, where I believe our beloved Kanamea Primary School, we believe teaching to be a work of art. When you work with the hearts and minds of our children, you win the hearts of the parents, and in turn, they give you their hands. And that is what it's all about. I am a product of Ubuntu. Ubuntu in the African tradition or folklore simply means humanity, humanness, human kindness. But also the belief in a universal bond of sharing that connects all humanity. So Peter Block once said, never hold off on a gift. And my dear friend Terence always reminds me of that. So may I use this opportunity to affirm and thank all those people for the gifts they shared and contributing to the Ridwaan I have become today. The Ridwaan of a few years ago will never ever stand here. It's like a deja vu moment wanting to run away, and Louise knows that only too well. But may I add, 5 years ago, I did not possess the knowledge, the skills, and the awareness of my purpose. Fully aware of the fact that they say the fish rots from its head, I was concerned about my own demeanor. I was concerned that I was not an effective leader. After listening to my inspirational leader, Professor Brian O'Connell, who says that being a school principal is one, if not the most difficult job in this country. Doing a balancing act with children, their parents, the staff, and the wide world community surrounding the school, it is no walk in the park. It's not easy. And so I take my hats off to all the principals, and at this moment I want to affirm all of them and say, keep on doing this great job. Our country needs you. I realized that if I did not step into leadership and own my challenge and special circumstance, the KPS that I love so dearly will deteriorate under my watch, and our children will suffer. As stated previously, I'm a product of Ubuntu. Because all the people that walked into my life polished me, egged me on, I wish to pause for a moment and thank the Novalis Institute who stepped into my life when I was an acting principal about 15 years ago. They were followed by IMEP, Groslow Park Development Desk, and many other organizations. But the one that molded and shaped and provided me with shiny eyes is the Symphonia South Africa and the Partner for Possibility program. Let's salute them. And so Louise introduced me to so many wonderful people, and I need to pause. We've heard Veronica Vantenaar. What an amazing lady. Lerato Mutle, Kerry Lee Brandt, James Eckley, Nazir Bandika, Salman Page, Terence Klaassen, and so many others that contributed to my being. They embraced the philosophy of Ubuntu and bestowed their huge ability to care upon me. They, in my view, belong to the MAD family, the Making a Difference family. And that is where we need you to be part of the MAD family. So my task at Kanamaya is to MAD in the lives of others. They were and are the generators of hope, and my task is to create hope and spread love to all those I interact with, especially our children. I believe that when all of us embrace our Africanness, after all, we have African blood flowing through our veins. We will embrace the philosophy of Ubuntu. We will be able to tackle our country's educational crisis, and it's because of people who embrace this philosophy that shaped my life, and I firmly believe that our task is to remind our fellow South Africans about their heritage and the critical role they need to play if we want to secure a brighter future for all our children. My muse and great inspiration, Professor Brian O'Carroll, said that we need to heed the call of 1976. He says the road ahead, if we don't heed this call, will make 1976 look like a walk in the park. But he also had a contradiction by saying that we can make 1976 look like a walk in the park if we, all of us, embrace Ubuntu and take a keen and active life, a role in the lives of our children, and together tackle this monster which we call the education monster. He held the view that all of us need to do much more and rally all our family, friends to come to the aid of our schools. It is only when the adults are engaged and walk alongside our teachers and children when we will be able to turn this education crisis around. If we are mindful that education is the greatest weapon one can use to change the world, said by you know who, our famous late State President Nelson Mandela, and the only weapon that can rid all our children out of poverty. And so our task is to co-create the conditions that set things in place to provide all our children with a quality and holistic education, one that connects both sides, left and right side of the brain. So what I'm trying to do at our beloved Kanamaya is to enroll all the adults to take co-responsibility for our children's education. We are nowhere where we need to be or would like to be. But 5 years ago, I struggled to name 5 parents when prompted by Louise. Today, we have so many engaged parents in the daily life and routine enhancing the rhythm of our beloved Kanamaya. It all started when Louise and I, within the first few minutes of our first encounter, decided to have a Mandela Day, held nogal on the 17th of July 2010, a day before the big man's birthday. And that will be a historical day for us. This led to massive change we would now realize 5 years later. Attitudes and perceptions held about teachers, principals, and parents diminished on that day and changed for the better, so much so that we can proudly say our parents care about our children. This we have followed up by having 8 separate meetings at the beginning of the year, one with each grade. And at these grade meetings, we contract our parents into signing a 50-50 partnership. We tell our parents that you need to take responsibility for 50% of your children's education, and we, the staff, will do our rest. And we explain to them what we understand to be the 50%. And when parents contract in such a way, they show up and they try and make a difference at the school. We then go ahead and elect 2 or 3 parents from every grade, and we've broken away from the PTA. We have a fancy name, sounds like a Gestapo, the CCP at KPS. The Community of Committed Parents. The language is very important. Community of Committed Parents, when parents feel that they are members of a community committed to KPS Academy Primary School, it makes a great difference at the school. They form a subcommittee of our SGB and assist the class teachers and the school with identified projects. Our CCP have accepted this invitation. They are committed and care about the school. Our Madiba Days have further evolved to become parent social evenings. We have grade-specific parent social evenings where we invite the learners, the parents, and the teachers, and together we have an encounter with them about what needs to be done and how they can play a more effective role in the lives of our children. Time doesn't allow to go into great depth. But this has really moved our parents in realizing the critical role that they need to play in the lives of our children. Research shows that when parents and adults are actively engaged in the lives of the children, the good results will follow. Over the last 5 years, we have realized better and better results in the Western Cape systemic test. Kanamaya, I'm proud to say, was the first school in our circuit who crossed the magical Rubicon of 50% in mathematics a few years ago. Sounds like a great achievement, and it is, if we consider the schools we're in. Last year, in 2015, we realized our best results, scoring in grade 3, 87% in mathematics, 91% in English. Our grade 6 also fared better, scoring 74% in maths and 69% in English. It may not be as high as other schools, but the most important thing that it has been a program that we put in place that has made it sustainable, and year after year we have seen an increase in results. It's not about the results, but it shows that the systems are working. These great results can be attributed to so many systems we have implemented, but it started with involving our parents. Parents have assisted in our classrooms, painting classrooms, assisting with our character transformation launches, concerts, fundraisers, etc. And this has had a positive effect on the morale of our teachers. Once teachers embraced the help of parents, and the parents in turn affirmed them, things began to change. Today, at the end of each year, we have an appreciation lunch for our teachers, organized solely by the parents to show that they appreciate and value the efforts that they put in for their children. This has led to a greater sense of organizational health at our beloved Kanamaya Primary School. 5 years ago, I would describe Kanamaya as a war zone. Political running battles being the order of the day. Disengaged teachers, gossiping, backbiting. You still find it today. Teachers encouraging parents to take their children out of the school because this man didn't know what he was doing. We lost many learners, and in the process we lost teachers. Our deputy was declared in excess and facing the chop. But this year, because of the work that we've done, we've seen our biggest total learner enrollment, namely 627 learners. Over the last 2 years, we have regained our lost posts. Our deputy principal has been reinstated, and we have even grown 2 additional permanent posts. We're one of the lucky ones who has gained a post this year, Mr. Schroeder. Today, staff are engaged. One can never have utopia, but things get done, and the school has moved forward. This year, our surf work realized 51,000 rand. Our annual school bazaar, 40,500 rand. A record amount. Not a lot of money, but for a community, a tremendous amount of effort and sacrifice. And the energy at these functions is just unbelievable. We also have wonderful success stories of parents being involved, becoming reading buddies and helping the kids. But for me, the greatest joy is our grannies. We have had a granny, Auntie Veronica Meyberg, 65 years old, who could never read nor write. She stepped into the grade 1 classroom, and Mrs. Kiberdo taught her, together with the grade 1s, to read, that she can do basic reading and write simple sentences. That was amazing. In fact, it was surprised. It was very, I can't find the word, but it was amazing that she visited the school again today after having been ill and having lost her husband. We have a grandma, Dillian Myers, who is schooled in Waldorf teaching, volunteering her services at the school. Salman mentioned the beautiful garden. She is integrating the curriculum with the gardening projects, using science and life skills, and working with the teachers to get the kids going off on the correct way. She's focusing on recycling and growing their own vegetables. She has also introduced our children to the importance of recycling and growing their own food. Then we have Grandma Auntie Mary, who has been our resident chef at our school for more than 21 years. She has enrolled 2 more grannies, Auntie Yolanda and Auntie Avril, and together they feed between 300 and 400 kids every day. Through the partnership, additional resources has found its way into our beloved Kaname Primary School, a new library, a new reading adventure room, a refurbished computer lab, a science lab, a math center, and now in the process of being built, a brand new school hall in our 55th anniversary year nogal. Next year, I hope that this celebratory event will take place in our brand new hall. Sorry, Mr. Marshall. Over the last 5 years, Kaname has become the school of choice in Grassy Park. This as a result of an historical Saturday session with staff and our Louise, something that would never happen on a Saturday. The staff coined this phrase, and when we look back, has set us on our transformational journey. Our beloved Kaname today is a far better place than 5 years ago. Parents hear good things about the school and want to enroll the children there. This is because we have found our purpose. Ben Zander says, give a person an A, and he and she is sure to live into that. And so we have given A status to our parents, to our children and our teachers, and we are encouraging them to step into that A status. The road ahead is a bumpy one, but we are driven by the philosophy that the greatest gift an adult can give a child is the gift of education. Let us as South Africans be mindful that our country's children need you. The time has come for you to step into citizenship and step into the lives of all of our children and give them hope and a brighter future. I thank you.